Bonjour. Something a bit different, but always the same. We are going to do small label profile on Medieval Prophecy Records. I did a trade with him. I sent him some zines, like I said, 2 videos ago or something like that. He sent me one zine and a tape. The tape is the Stangarido with Metaphysica Barbarstwa, something like that. Czechoslovakian. I'm always in doubt about where they're from or what region, but yeah, here we go. A 3-track that is an EP that is following. I talked about it when the record came in. Oh, this is hard. Hard. I'll get there in a minute to what we're listening to. But yeah, a folk incorporating black metal EP, 3 tracks that uses folk in the sense that it has folk instrumentation, but it lends heavily from kraut rock, at least in my ears, in the sound that they are using. Very good, very well written, 2 shorts, like I said. It is the guy from Malakar Payton and his brother who are doing this, and the writing process is going slow, but take your time, please. Stalagnaat vocals and drums, and Lisso Diff on guitars, bass, and synths. So yeah, looking forward to more. Their full length was already a big hit in these parts. So yeah. Thank you, Jay, for the trade and the tape version of this one. I think it's sold out. What else was in there was the new Banner of Evil. I couldn't wait. I just put on my Sote Schoenen and asked for it. It is the 3rd issue by Medieval Prophecy Records, fall 2023, and in good Belgian zine-making style. The 3rd one is a bit more fleshed out, like the Zombie Dance one. This is 20 pages of Monsieur Lenro, I'm sorry, I always say it that way, from Funeral and Kristallnacht and Seigneur Volant. It is maybe not the only interview, but it is the most extensive, I would say. It is 20 pages of just not how the bands are coming together, how the Concilium came together, but just how this part of French black metal history came together. I mean, I have written the first 5, 6, maybe 8 pages, and there's no mention of Le Légion Noire yet, so they were there at the very beginning. Especially with the Funeral demo, I think it's 93, something around that, but yeah. Blessed in Sin is coming up. There's some live stuff in here. Yeah, it's very extensive. It deals with the famous pictures even in here. That's the last part. It even deals with their time when they were incarcerated, how they are, if they have the same beliefs now as they did then, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a very interesting read from the guy himself for once. That is 20 pages. Then what else is in here is a article with Niazny from Belarus, or White Russia. Not much is known. They have 2 demos for now. One is playing, the 2nd one, and that is called, let's see, the 2nd one is U Zumroku I Liniu Smiarotnium, something like that. It is the 2nd one, or the 2nd demo, which already showed, but let's do it again. It is Eastern European. The sound is Eastern European. In the beginning, they were compared to all the Bladebird Hall stuff, like Forest Brenningkalt, especially those 2, the 2 big ones, I guess. Who is in here is not known. Where there's nothing known. The only thing that is known is the first one, the Zastili Misiak. That's this one. All the artwork is done by the same guy, and this is basically a winter storm cover, nature worshipping, reminiscent of some of the Bladebird Hall stuff, like on the inside. The 2nd one is an ode to one of the bands they hold in high esteem. If you can see where it's from or what it brings ode to, you win a prize. Put it in the comments. But yeah, they don't take influence from this band necessarily, but yeah, they pay homage this way. By the 5th member, or the man making the art for the Niazny project or bands from Belarus. Like I said, nothing is known. The interview is a 2-pager, and it deals with how they stand in modern black metal, nowadays black metal, how deals with history of Belarus, with the nature of Belarus, the political stuff. So yeah, it's another very interesting read. Also for the local scene, there's not much to say about the local scene. They are very cool nonetheless. There are a few reviews of the singer, I think. I'm not sure once again. And that is the end. The only thing that is of interest is the next MPR releases. Not the batch we're going to talk about in the second part of this video, but the one behind that. So we have Vitium from Sweden, new album on LP and CD. Wachtel from Poland, which unbelievable that they are on here. First album LP, the tape was incredible. Tornen from Sweden, first album. Orgblood, Hechtogenwald, Splits, 7-inch, and many more. There you go. With the Reaper. And then, as if all of that wasn't enough, he decided to use a crop of one of my favorite paintings ever. There you go. Prince Edward the Black Knight. I had to look it up actually what it was. It's the Black Prince at Grissy from Julian Russell Stormy, 1988. A very romanticized battlefield depiction of the Battle of Grissy, from 1346. It was a turning point in the 100-Year War, where Prince Edward of Wales, aka the Black Prince or the Black Knight, is paying homage to King John of Bohemia. When he's been down under his horse and laying dead, where England took the victory for this one. So yeah, very cool. The weird thing about this is that King John, who was fighting for the French actually, he rode into battle completely blind. He had knights around him that were guiding him, but can you imagine? So yeah, it is a very weird painting, but it fits the aesthetic of the total zine. This will be out in the next batch, and if you are into all of the bands that I just said, well, basically Kristallnacht, Funeral, the early French Toulon scene Concilium bands, this is one to look into. If not, I don't know what you're doing watching this video. That's it for part one. So the trades, the zine, the tape, and the second part is the next batch and what is coming with some music. So yeah, first part was the zine and all the tapes. You know why I'm doing this, so I have my image. If you're into good black metal, look into the label and look into distros. A lot of distros have, he has good distribution, that's what I'm trying to say. He has a lot of stuff around the entire world, from US to all over the place. Pick it up. What we are going to do now is, I'm not up in the highest echelons of medieval prophecy records that I have the releases. I talked to Jay about, doing something for them, and I'm going to do it the only way I can, analog style. I have printed out covers. That is the blackest one. I'm going to put on a bit of the music that is going to be put out through the label later this week. The first thing I want to talk about is like I said, I don't have the actual releases, so this is the best I could do. There are prints. Now, it doesn't show up, but it's you can see that it's a tree or a house. It's kind of hard to see even in the regular. If you want to see the images proper, they will be on Instagram, or it's already on the Big Cartel for Medieval Prophecy Records. Let's see, the music is playing. We are starting at the less loudest or the slowest one, and this is Draon Hill, this one with Opaque from 2016. Basically another re-release of all the Draon Hill material that was first done through Asger. I'm not sure if there's overlap or just the same. I talked about it last time. But these are tracks called Nuit. All the tracks are called Nuit, previous from a split with Brouillard, it seems, that was released through France Deuil Productions, I think a tape and CD label, but I'm not sure, run by Dunkel himself. He's the guy behind Draon Hill, and also Satkraï, Salfreux, and Humus, which is a really weird output. It's just a briefcase with shit in it. He's from Brittany, and Dunkel is also called Koning Ludwig Dunkel de Krapfreux in Draon Hill. Now what this is a 3-piece or a 3-tracker. One is 9 minutes, one is 12, and one is 17, so it's basically a full instead of a split. I always have the assumption that it's going to be black metal, but the Satkai is black metal. Draon Hill is mostly ambient, goes into dungeon synth here and there. But due to the fact that it's always black metal in my head, I always am kind of disappointed by how it sounds, because it's very ambient, it's very quiet, it's very building up into something, but never really black metal. So it's what you expect to get versus what you get. I think that's a problem a bit with why people don't get Draon Hill more than Satkai, I guess. There are 3 tracks on here. Let's not dive in too much into that, what other people are thinking. Just listen to it. First one is Architecture de Nuit. The second one is the Poule Nocturne, and the third one is the B-side, I guess, which is the longest track, I think about 17 minutes, something like that. Opaque Ténèbres. 3 tracks that are, as you can hear or not can hear, I don't know how hard it's going to get, because it's beautiful, haunting ambient, especially the first one. It has night sounds, and then it delves into the second one, so it's just a building track, as you can see, like ambient does. But then the vocals kick in on Poule Nocturne, and it has this Only Lovers Left Alive vibe, but then with these very horrible vocals. And yeah, it delves or dives into very slow dungeon synth. It is always especially on the third track, the Opaque Ténèbres, it's back to a more ambient sound from the dungeon synth, but then the melancholic side comes out, and then you have those awful vocals. So it's the juxtaposition between those soothing sounds and those sickening vocals that make it interesting for me, at least. I've written down never the biggest fan, but it has, and there are moments in there. It's not for just one listen and then just say it's not for me. So yeah, you have to, like with a lot of music, I'm sorry for this, but you know, it's the best I can do. The others will pop up when I've been to Herald of Unlights. So that's basically the first track. Like you can hear, it is ambient. The second, I'll put the second one, Poule Nocturne, and when I, there you go, you have that slowly building dungeon synth, more into the ambient that yeah, like I said, with those vocals, it's insane. So that is basically what you are getting from Draon Hill, once again. That is the first one, a 12-inch, then another 12-inch. I'll let that one play too, because I can. That is pure black metal. The second one is a 12-inch version from a tape that came out in 2001, I think. I'm not sure, 2000 or 2001, because this project or this band had a very short lifespan. This is Hawkmoon, and look at that. It's a Polaroid from a release called Tome 1, L'Aube de Puissance demo. It's a co-production between Medieval Prophecy Records and Messenoir Productions. There are 4 tracks on here, so basically 2 tracks on each side, I guess. It's called a demo, but sound-wise, as you can hear, very good production for, well, we are in the year 2000, so it's not 90s, but, you know. 4 tracks on here. A New Star Will Shine in the King's Pantheon, Crush the Weak Part 1. Also, it's Tome 1, so I always think the thought was to, you know, get more stuff out, but just stayed with this. Second one is Past Occulted by Memory, then third is the title track, and the fourth song, so excuse me, is Fall Away From My Beliefs. As you can see, a demo. It is medieval on the cover, and that is what you will hear in the track. It is presented as a, when you look at it first, it's presented as a solo project by TND, the main guy who also plays bass, but you know, for French black metal, it's kind of normal to have the bass player be the guy, as you can see in the banner of Evil. He is in Malicious Secrets and Celestia, but not active anymore, so it's, as you can hear, the bass is already going wild in the first notes, and that will be very prominent in the entire demo. The others that are playing with him are Arteneb, Immolation, and Malzaret. There's a great sound. The guitar does very good and cool things. There's a galloping bass, and those together remind of the style Iron Maiden plays, but then black metal, I guess. When I heard it first, there are some pop things in the drums that bothered me a bit, but if you keep listening to it, because I lived with these releases for a week now, it becomes clear that it's just a very heavy metal influence that, like Iron Maiden, that just goes back on the tracks. Tight drumming, dynamic style, where you can hear the entire kit. It's not just, you know, dark drone. It's very good. And like I said, the medieval vibe that will maybe come up here. I can't keep playing the entire track. The bass notes kind of push that narrative into the tracks. There's a midway interlude on here, very medieval and melancholic, and it kind of feels like the hero who is leaving for the night of battle, something like that. A bold, fleshed out sound for a demo. Track 3 has some weird poppy drums, that's what I'm talking about, but if you keep listening, it's just evident that it is heavy metal and not pop music. Last track has the most heavy metal feel. Slower track with normal vocals, this would be a pure heavy metal track. Yeah, so there's a lot of heavy metal in this French demo from 2001, but yeah, I love it. Shallows in the end, I don't know if they are synth shallows, but yeah, it is. At first glance, it was a demo I was not into, but if you play it 2 or 3 times, it is definitely worth picking up. And finally, good call of Medieval Prophecy Records to put it on vinyl. The fourth band, or the fourth release, is Goof from Verviers and Liège, the south of Belgium. Goof is a band that is not part of the Ancient Hounds for once. It is a band that is from Sydney, and maybe, I don't know which monikers they use because it's all very confusing. It's even more confusing than the Ancient Hounds, which is saying something. There are 2 members here, Sota, but I guess he left. There's in the description, one of the guys left, and the drummer also does vocals now, but they're also with more than 2, and it's confusing. I think that's the purpose. So we have Sota or SS and Décombre, who now does vocals and drums. So Décombre is BZ, and the entire thing that comes behind it, KPFN, something like that, was also in this Caterion, is basically the Belgian black metal drummer of the moment. The sound always gets described as old dark drone, but that's just very simple. What you hear here is the new demo, Daad Ceremony, Daad as in D-A-A-T-H, is a new one, a 19-20 minute demo. You heard the intro, very demonic. I'll show the cover. There you go, once again, photocopied. It has that sound, that bubbly, fluids, going to hell, demonic sound, into this, which is a very tightly played, arcane black metal, cold, grim, very dynamic, especially when you hear the drummer. It's called Necro Metal by Fiddleheart, so I think you know where we are. Very shouty vocals, but more on that later. They are a band that has existed for, I'm not sure, 5-6 years. I don't know when these came out. I forgot to look that up, I guess. First demo, no, I have it here. The first demo is on Rites Immortel, and then the re-release is through Medieval Prophecy Records, and it's called Grim Spirit, or Grim Spirit, from 2019. Rites Immortel is the tape label. There you go, Goof. The tape label run by SS or Sota, that has close links to Medieval Prophecy, of course, but that's also Hertogenwald, that's also Oriflamme, a bunch of bands, Il Noir, Hertogenwald, all those bands. You can lay the puzzle for yourself. This is Oeuvre in Memoriam Morti from 82 to 2006, drawn back to the maritime abyss to dwell there forever. So a dedication that was left in the tape. But yeah, this is the first one, like I said, on Rites Immortel, a very cool tape label that does, or has done, a lot of Dunkel tapes and Isigrin tapes. Here are the 4 that were in here, Sota, Infame, Décombre, and D. So it's a 4-piece, now it's 3-piece. It's also basically the same lineup as F-Bois, but same deal there. Intro, Demon Path, Throne Made of Skulls, and Oirim. Infernal Hymns by, and so on and so on. Intro by Guido from Isigrin, so they're all the Verviers crew, I should say. Like I said, on Rimpart, hand numbered, and these are very cool and sturdy tapes. Sakai is also very, very nice. So that is the first one. The second one, they went to Medieval Prophecy Sick demo. Very good. Second one is Crawling Dead. There you go. What year? NPR. I didn't write it down, but it should last year or the year before, I guess. And then they have a split 7-inch with the Plegaton's Majesty on NPR. That is an Ancient Hounds. There you go. So yeah, very nice. This is recorded December 2022. Very nice. Halls of Horror, Blazing Queen, exhumed from an ancient tomb, and the outro. Still a 4-piece here, so we'll see. Outro by Guido, so he keeps popping up. Very interesting person within this scene and within the Belgian scene. So yeah, the first 2 demos that came out on 2 very cool labels. And then what the mastermind behind Medieval Prophecy did was put them both on a 12-inch. This is also available. I'll get it out because the artwork is very good. It's basically demo 1 and demo 2 blown up. I don't think there's any. There is. Sorry. There we go. Limited to 300. Yes. There are the 4 guys. Somewhere in the forests. Yeah. Very cool to have these tracks together on one big 12-inch. There's a lot of shit in here. I always keep the promo, as you know, put it in later. The back, Draon Hill, so it's all linked up nicely. But yeah, that is Goof Demo 1 and 2. Now, for this one, let's see, where was I? 2 members, like I said. There's a short intro and an outro. Synth work, pretty standard, but has that demonic voice, like I just said. Nothing good lives here is the last thing I said. A fluid, evil, and deep sound. There are no title tracks, so I'm not sure how it breaks up. As far as I can tell, there are 3 tracks on here. Vocals are very shouting and croaky. They're in English, as far as I can hear. But they're not straight on. It has high, lows, goes into a hinge. It's a slight echoing effect going on, but I guess you can hear. It's a very simple form of black metal, and I mean with that no frills, good production, good drumming, buzzing guitar sound, hard second voice is added during track 1, more singing and booming one, and that is the, that gives it some volume or some dimension, I guess, in the production. The second track slows down for maybe 10 seconds and then it becomes harder than the first. It gets broken up by a more solo-esque guitar parts, and yeah, it just takes a break from the riff fest I said, where it climbs into a higher register of notes. So you have that solo or the bridge or whatever you musicians call it. Then the last track takes center stage, the vocals take center stage. They are still very, the guitar takes center stage. The vocals are still very present, but it just gets lifted up a bit. Vocals are reminiscent of the last Heinous record, that live feeling, that grand voice. There are hints of punk influence here and there, but only like OSBM, old school black metal, can incorporate in very small doses. The end is just a double guitar attack. One squeals while the other one just blasts along. And then it calls out from the deep. The demons are now invading our world. 1 member less, but it doesn't show. I don't know if I offend anyone with that, but a very good demo nonetheless. As you can hear, we are semi-halfway through. There are no huge changes on here, but still very, very good. From Vervius. I promised Jay this. I promised him a 5-minute video. I guess we're going to hit the half-hour mark because we have 2 more releases to talk about, and the last one will take some time. I hinted at this one. This is the flyer Nachtwind, which is the last one. I not buried the lead. I just spoiled it. We're now talking about the Mischievous Rate. Rate release. This will be on cassette. This is a demo tape. Now, first demo, Hemlock and Belladonna, malevolent black metal fueled by classic LPs such as Within the Sylvan Realms of Frost and Light of a Dead Star, to be released on Medieval Prophecy. There you go, the Time Guard Conatel Konge shirt. So I don't hear the reference directly, but yeah. Mischievous Rate is part of the Ancient Hounds that also holds Plegaton's Majesty, Crypt of Allegia, Regnum Tenebrarum, there. Orc Blood, which is also very good, and Selenite Scrolls, of course, please. drop the full, or drop a third intro. But yeah, the records mentioned as inspirations are within the Sylvan Realms of Frost, which is a demoncy from the US North Carolina. It's one of the first black metal bands. That record is from 89, yes, 89, which is insane actually. Ixitra, VGS, and Scorpios Androctonus, I guess. This is the tape cover. To show you. The second one is Light of a Dead Star from 2002 from Nehema, from France. Nehema means Lilith. From Chambry, they have two demos. The Light of a Dead Star self-titled from 95, which is a bit earlier than the other one. Sorry, the Within the Sylvan Realms of Frost was from 99. The band started in 89, sorry. And then you have the Nehema self-titled from 2001. There are two more full-lengths, Shadows from the Past from 2003 and Requiem Tenebrae from 2004, but very, I wouldn't say influential, I would say underrated French band that started in the mid-90s but just kept going until the mid-2000s, I guess. Lineup are Corvin on vocals and bass, Dargon on drum, and Sorghal on guitar. There is a box, The Tomb of Thoughts from 92 to 04, and if you have it on those posts, please trade it with me. Sound-wise, it has a very familiar sound. The synth intro, it already blasted through, or the synth outro, I should say. Yeah, it just, that sound, I know that sound somewhere. It is kind of an ancient Hounds sound. I wouldn't say it's reminiscent of all the things, because something like Selena Scrolls is very different from Orgblood and stuff like that, but there is, I mean, they produce in the same rooms, I guess, or they are the same people, so there is variation, but it's only, if my wife would hear it, it's all black metal, which it is, but yeah, as well. Swaying guitars, deep production, melancholic but hard-tight drumming, and a bit muffled in the production. I think that is on purpose. There's a whispering serpentine vocal going through, and sporadic, almost tinnitus-sounding synths I've written down. So very high-pitched synths here and there, but they have that organ sound, which is high-pitched, which is very weird. Then the second track starts with these howling wolves. I've written them down, but I guess they are hounds, because you can hear the difference between a hound and a wolf. Also here, once again, the bass shines through. Yeah, when the drums quiet down a bit, and it's mixed so it bleeds through the left side, so you can hear the left side in your, you can hear the bass in your left, you know, headphone, I guess, or left side of the headphones, and it gives it this room-esque sound that you can hear, you know, guitar there, drum there, so it's very well recorded. Maybe that's just I have the WAV master, so I don't know, that's when you hear it with headphones. What else is on here? It's, yeah, the way the sound is built. It's hypnotic, continuously played riffs, like I could hear the repetition. The third track starts with an interlude that has toads. You have this swampy southern Belgian feel that goes on there. And then the fourth track, there are 4 on here as far as I can see, because it's one big file. The most dynamic song, and it's a good last song, so it is the closure. Echoing, but very echoing, booming, but thinly played is the last thing I've written down. But yeah, once again, from Ancient Hounds, a very good demo. There you go. Mischievous Rate. I'm not sure what's behind the title is Hemlock and Belladonna, which is Belladonna's deadly nightshade, a plant, and these are 2 poisonous plants, but I don't have titles, so that's all I can give you for now. But it's shaping up to be a good drop. And then for me, the last one, the belle of the ball, is the Nachtwind. There you go, with Breath of Night. Nachtwind started in Verviers Liège, so you know who is behind this one. It is Nihil and Sombre. It is raw Belgian black metal, misanthropic, sombre, hateful, bleak music. They also do Éole Noire and Hertogenwald, as I said, and then Blake, which is sadly not a band anymore. I got the 7-inch from Nihil not that long ago, maybe a year ago, and it's very, very good. They decided to come back. They started, like I said, in 2001. It is their 20-year anniversary. That's why they came with another full. Now it's the 20-year anniversary of the Until Their Ruin on Painkiller Records, the Belgian label. That was 2003. Now, if they do the 20 years, it would be a perfect time to play Herald of Unlight. That is next week, but I guess they are not playing live in true black metal style. Like I said, 2003 until their Ruin on Painkiller, the first demo full length. It's not really noticeable, or you know. And then in 2010 they have Ruinous. This is the 2020 vinyl on Gramschap and Deviant Records, or this one is. There you go. Like I said, bleak affair, all true. There you go. Here is the guy behind it, looking grim, like I said, on Gramschap and Deviant Records, limited to 300 copies. Dust storm, nothing but void, sighting for salvation, creeping into the grave, tremendum, haunting wind, and glimpse of nothingness. Is there an insert? Yes, there is. There are even two inserts. One is a lyric insert that has a, there goes the paper, that has a throne which looks familiar. It's the same image as I'm looking there. It is the Opus 4 from Abigor. I'm not going to find out who did it, who had it first. That's something for another kind of nerd to look up. A negative Nancy Nerds poster with the cover artwork. I'm not sure who did it, but yeah, it has those Ardennes feels and a man being eaten by a tree. He's been there for quite a while, tied to the trunk. Lyrics are in here. Like I said, it is a foul affair, this one. Yeah, good to have some of this. These are not expensive records, so I'm going to start hunting there. There are some, the flyer from Hido, and there are some original Rampart flyers, since we're doing a party. There's the first Goof demo. I don't know what this is actually. Expostultation. I have it, but it's been a long time. Satkrij Nachtwind, the tape that is also on vinyl through Amorfati. Draon Hill, Satkrij releases. Very cool covers, that one. Insane. And then another Draon Hill. And Salfreux. Oh no, Draon Hill. Looks like Salfreux. There we go. So some flyers I just put in for my own amusement. Cool Belgian label. But yeah, Gramschap, who is doing the Heralds of Unlight. I still think there are tickets. Kira, who else playing? Vir, of course. Blanking the others. One more Belgian band. Sure. Okay, into the new one. This is called, I have to see, Breath of Night, once again. Very cool cover. Kind of reminiscent of the Reaper by Medieval Prophecy, but there you go. Yes. They have, like I said, this is from 2010. Then they have two more singles, Mist from 2010, and the split with Sakai, which I just showed from 2020. And that was their first sign of life, or the hope went up that there would be some more material. Now, Breath of Night is a full length, and I listened to it. This first I listened to, I wrote Jay that track 5 is a killer, because it kind of divides into two parts. You have track 1 to 3 are very good black metal songs. They are not bad songs, but when it comes to 4, there's a very somber interlude, but it feels like when you hear track 5, that, and that is on first listen, that the first part of the record doesn't have the feel that it deserves its place in the crown of black metal, Belgian black metal, I said. That is until you hear track 5. Track 5 just has this no quarter, take no prisoners sound vibe. It goes through until the rest of the record. But when you listen back, 1, 2, 3 are the building blocks. 4 you have the pause, and 5 it's just all out war. The track is called Shattered Roots, and you have these midway the track. I'll just play it. Midway the track. This was the first one. They have these samples that are just medieval battlefield sounds, chopping, blood starts flowing, and it's just, it doesn't stop. Vocally, it's very versatile. I'm not sure if there's 1 or 2 vocalists in here. It has a muddy production, but it brings the vocals very much to the forefront, and I think that is their intended purpose. The last song is a 70-minute nasty crawling affair called Vettelin, something like that. As far as I can see, it's Shadow Mountain, and it's a Lord of the Rings reference, although I could be mistaken. A nasty crawling affair, slow beast that is only lightened up with a small layer of sense, and then it just runs out until the bells toll your church bells in the distance, and it's all over. If it's their last thing, I'm not sure. I don't know where they are in there. There are both troops, Niazni, the Nachten guys, the Ancient Hounds. There's not that much info, and I completely respect that. I sometimes have trouble doing these videos just because, I mean, I like talking about it, but they maybe don't want it. I'm not sure. I think I'm a different entity on, I'm not social media, I'm just, you know, white filth, I guess. To all involved, from Jay, to put the trust in me, to give me the files, to the bands making this music. Cheers. Especially the Belgian folk keeping this alive. I'll do my little part for it, but that's all I can do. As you can hear, they keep chopping away. I'm going to let this play and then, you know, listen to some more Niazni. I would say pick these up because a lot of people here listen or like the Blazebird Hall reference. If you know this one, it is not, it's Mayhem, of course. It's not Dead Crush sounding, but they pay homage. They have a European sound or an Eastern European sound that knows how to play and that plays well, and the full length will be insane, I guess, just as so many another bands that will be insane once they pop up with a full length or more material, a book or something like it. That's it. I promised 5 minutes. It's now 37 almost, so that should be enough to keep you over this weekend. It is Friday. It will go up on Friday, not Sunday. So have a great weekend. Enjoy the releases. You know, buy them. They are live now, probably through their big cartel or through New Era, I guess. That's it. Jay, thank you very much. Hope you liked it. Others, people watching, I hope you liked it too. I hope this was a bit informative. Get the Banner of Evil, that's all I'm going to say. If it's your thing, it's your thing. If not, I don't know what to do. Here we go. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you at AB Gore in Austria.